What's up, guys and gals? How y'all doing? This is Backwoods. Hey, just wanted to come and talk to y'all for a few minutes. A couple of things I've been reading here. Number one is apparently there was a poll that came out, and you know how polls go. You know how that goes. But just saying that apparently in this particular poll, there are 31.4% of people that don't even realize, and maybe some of y'all out here don't realize, maybe y'all are part of this number that don't realize our census, the way our census is set up, it doesn't count only American citizens. It counts everybody. That means all these illegals coming in, they get counted on the census. And you may be like, well, okay, what does that mean? Well, that determines the House seats. And, you know, that the more people you got, the more seats you get. And when you see this flooding into, you know, like I said, we've already had enough people come across the border since Joe Biden. We've had enough people come across the border to overpower, I think it's 2 or 3 states now. That's a lot of House seats. And this is why they count them like that, so they can determine the House seats, you know, that for the representation of them areas, you know, and it's really a bad deal, because someone that is not here legally is getting counted, and they're going. A lot of these people are going to these bigger cities and stuff like that, and we know even in like here in Arkansas, I mean, we're pretty heavily Republican, but in Little Rock, which is our capital, we have a lot of Democrats, and there's that's where the heaviest Democrat presence is. And so, you know, when there's stuff in these cities, and that just you know, that can sway. If you see where I'm going with this, that can sway a lot of things, even in your own state. Another thing I wanted to tell y'all about real quick. This is something that I don't think a lot. I've not really actually heard a lot of people talk about this, hardly at all, in all of this. You do realize that the Democrats, you know, a big majority of the Democrats, and some Republicans too, rhinos, when Obamacare came out, you do realize that at the first of Obamacare and everything, you would be penalized if you didn't either have insurance or if you didn't take Obamacare. You realize that you were going to be penalized. Now let's flip this around to now, present day. You got Kamala Harris out there. You know what she's saying? Hey man, we should give all the illegals free health care. Let that sink in for a minute. That pretty much all of your Democrats voted to penalize you for not buying Obamacare or not having insurance, but they're giving it to these people coming across our border. They're giving it to them for free. Yeah, man. Anyway. That's I just you know, I had them couple of things I wanted to talk about. You know, it's really sad that, you know, the Democrats like to use that word democracy, democracy, you know what I mean? And they just usurped democracy by installing Kamala, because she never received one vote whatsoever, not one. Joe Biden got the votes, but Kamala didn't. And that's, I know most everybody that watches this, y'all are in line with what I'm thinking and everything, but you really need to, my wife and I speak about this quite often. She'll say, I see this post and this post, on some of the people on Facebook and stuff like that, and they're talking about how bad Trump is, or they're talking about, how great the Democrats are doing, Joe Biden and all that. And, I'm all the time, she don't like confrontation, and that's cool. I get it. But, this is where you really need to speak out on these social media platforms, or when you hear people talking about it, and just go in and, you don't have to be ugly about it. It's all good. You can just simply say, that, hey, you realize they were penalizing us for not having insurance, and now they're giving it to them for free. I don't know about y'all, but our insurance is due here in a couple of weeks, and it's a lot. Like it cost a lot, and it's hard to come up with this with the money. It just is, with the cost of living and everything, and remind them of these things, that this, they can try to spin it off any way they want to, but just ask them simply, has your grocery bill not went up substantially? Everything, your insurance on your house, we've been dealing, in fact, with the insurance company here lately, and they're trying to figure out how to get the insurance rates down, because people are dropping the insurance. People just can't afford it. That's a scary freaking thing, to think that you can't even afford insurance for the house that you've been paying for. And they have to raise the rates because everything is going up. If your house, God forbid that your house catches a fire, or you have a water heater bust, and our pipe bust, and it damages a whole lot of stuff. It costs a whole lot more money today to rebuild, to buy the parts to fix it. I don't know, man. Some of these people, you're just not going to change their mind. But the one thing I do want to address real quick, I've been seeing quite a few conservatives talking about, Trump's going to win. I'm not going to vote. I'm not voting. I ain't going to vote. Voting don't work. Well, you're right. It don't if you don't vote. You're right. It don't work. If you don't get involved, it don't work. They're even going to the point of talking about starting to have AI determine your leadership by social media posts, by all this. So you see, if you're not getting involved and engaging, let them call you names. Who cares? Call me names. Boy, that really hurt my feelings, But if you don't get involved and you don't engage, they can use AI to determine these things. This is what they're talking about doing. So everybody better just kind of, wake up to some of this stuff. Prepare accordingly. It's going to get worse. It's going to get rough. It's going to get real rough. There's a man. I seen a deal earlier today, where they were talking about how Kamala was leading Trump in most polls. It's like, what? You know, where did that come from? She didn't even get 1% of the vote before. You know, so these people are lying, man. And if you don't engage in this and call them out for their BS, that's why they keep getting away with it. You know. Anyway, guys, just keep preparing. You know, there was an old song when I was growing up, the old Beastie Boys. You got to fight for your right. Of course, it was the party, but I can't disagree with that one. No, you got to fight for your rights, man, or you ain't gonna have any. I'm just saying. You know, the worst thing that people can do is to not be involved, because when you don't get involved, the other side wins. The other side gets to pick your destination. So which destination do you want? The one that they pick or the one that you pick? You make up your mind. It's about all I got. Remember, when you prepare your mind properly, things will start to fall into place. Backwoods out.